These are some good yams, y'all. You ain't had no yams. He had these yams, I'm telling you. These some good yams. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Cook, Plate, Repeat. And today we're making some good old-fashioned candy yams, inspired by my mama's recipe. I'm keeping her secret, but trust me, this version is just as good. Let's get started. All right, guys, so here are our ingredients for our candy yams. We have 4 pounds of sweet potatoes, white sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, ginger, salt, a stick of butter. We have orange juice, we have Karo syrup, and we have Ron Zacapa rum. Now you can use any type of rum you want, but I like Ron Zacapa. All right, so let's go ahead and start with our sweet potatoes and put them in a pot and boil them. Okay guys, so now we're gonna fill our pot up with water and place our sweet potatoes in the pot. Now again, I have about 4 pounds of sweet potatoes. Now it's always good to make sure that you wash your sweet potatoes and make sure that they're nice and clean on the outside before we put them in the water, because we want to get rid of as much dirt as possible, because after these sweet potatoes boil, we're going to take the skin off. All right, and we're just going to fill this up halfway. All right guys, so we have our pot filled halfway. Now we're going to transfer it to the stove. Okay guys, so we transferred our pot of sweet potatoes to our stove. We filled our pot up halfway with water, and we're gonna turn our pot on, and we're gonna turn that on high, okay? And we're gonna wait for this water to reach a roiling boil, okay, a hard boil. And we're gonna leave that on high for about 25 to 30 minutes. What we're looking for is we want to make sure that when we stick a knife through our sweet potatoes, that they stick through clean. That is, they're not hard to stick through. You don't want them too soft. We want some stiffness there, but when they're soft enough for a knife to go through clean. And then after that, what we're going to do, we're going to skin our sweet potatoes and get ready for the next step. All right, so we'll see you back in about 25 to 30 minutes.
A few moments later.
Okay guys, so we see here that the sweet potatoes are ready to be taken out. It's been about 30 minutes. And if you see, I can stick my knife almost all the way through and it's still stiff. Okay, so that's what you want. You want to be soft enough that you can put your knife almost all the way through, because remember, it's going to cook some more when we put it in the oven. All right, so you don't want them totally 100% done, but stiff enough to be taken out. So now we're going to take our sweet potatoes out and put them into our baking dish. See the steam coming off of those baked potatoes? That's what we want. Steam to come off of them just like that. All right, so we're gonna let these cool for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we're gonna peel the skin off, okay? If you try to peel the skin off right now, you're gonna burn your hands, okay? Burn the skin on your fingertips, so you don't wanna do that. Okay, so let's let it cool for about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll see you guys back in about that time. All right, so we let our sweet potatoes rest and cool. So now we're gonna take off the skin. This is the easy part, guys. Skin comes right on off. And I'm using a paper plate because I'm tired of dishes. So excuse me for the paper plate. See how that's still firm but soft? See that? That's what you want. That one came off really nice. So we're just gonna double check. Just make sure those spots off, little blackheads, as much as possible. You don't have to be perfect, because once we go in with finish the process, you won't even notice. All right guys, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna wash my hands, get these sweet potato, bits of sweet potato off, and we're gonna arrange them. I'm gonna mash them up a little bit and arrange them. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so now that we've skinned our sweet potatoes, we want to stop at this point before we season them and arrange them. We want to go ahead and turn our oven on to 400 degrees, so that's preheating. So, because we're gonna have to do these steps in succession, okay? All right, so I'm gonna turn my oven on to 400 degrees. If you like, you can use a spatula, a wooden spatula, or your fork. I just use a wooden spatula. You don't want to mash, you kind of want to just chop it. Okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put in our spices in a bowl. I'll be right back. I'm going to rinse my hands off. All right, guys, so now we arranged our sweet potatoes in our baking dish. So now we're gonna bring our spices together. So I have cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, ginger, salt. Okay, so we're just gonna mix all this together. Now the measurements will be in the description box below. Okay, so I'm using about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. This is about 1.5 tablespoons of allspice. This is about, say, 2 teaspoons. Then we have our ginger. Then we have our salt. I'm just gonna mix that around. Again, I might be a little bit off with the measurements, but check the description box below. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna sprinkle. It's gonna be in your recipe book or your go-to recipe for a long time. I know it was mine. Okay, guys, so we have our spices sifted onto our sweet potatoes, and now we're gonna make our syrup mixture. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of. Okay, guys, so now we're gonna get our syrup ready for our candy yams. So this is the syrup that we're gonna be using. My mom always used Karo syrup. Okay, we can use 1 bottle and about 1/2 of the other. All right, again, the ingredients will be in the description box below. And get all of that out of there. All right, and what I like to do is just set it like this on top. You know, set it like this way on the table to make sure that I get all that syrup out of there. Again, Karo syrup, we're gonna be using about 1/2. We're just gonna get the rest of this out of here. Now you guys might be like, you know, I want to make candy yams. You know, he's not making candy yams the normal way with just sugar and butter, and you know, that's okay. This is an easy hack. It's been tested and it's been approved by my mama. So, being that's the case, it's good. All right. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn on our heat and turn that to medium for right now. We're gonna add in our sugar. Okay, that's 1/2 cup of sugar. All right, 1/2 cup. And add in 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Okay, 1/2 cup. We're gonna add in 1 stick of unsalted butter. All right, you can use salted butter if you want, but this is supposed to be sweet syrup, so I wouldn't use salted butter, but it's up to you. Now this butter is at room temperature. All right, it's best, you know, melts better at room temperature. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add in our orange juice. Now you can use freshly squeezed orange juice if you want. That's up to you. All right, so we're gonna heat this up and give this a stir. Now you can cut your butter up if you want. Melts a little faster, but it's room temperature, you know. So I just put the whole stick in there. See how soft it is. And the reason why you want to make sure your oven's preheated, because when I heat this up, you know, this is runny right now. This is very runny. Okay, it's gonna be thick and runny. Okay, that's what the consistency you're looking for. All right, you'll see. I'll give you an example when it's all done, when it's ready. Okay, so we see our butter is melting there. Also too, you know, when this syrup is ready to be poured on our candy yams, we're gonna be kind of quick. We're gonna pour it and we're gonna place it in the oven. Okay, you just don't want to let it sit out there. Okay, because when we pour in the candy yams, it's gonna harden a little bit. When we put it in the oven at 400 degrees, we're gonna be looking for that bubbly effect. Okay, when it starts to bubble, that's what we want. All right, and I'll let you know what that looks like. If it doesn't start to bubble when it's in the oven, increase the heat. That's why I put it on 400, the oven. 350 is not gonna do it. Now, right before we pour this syrup onto the candy yams or onto our seasoned potato mixture here, we're gonna add some vanilla extract and some rum. Rum. Okay? I like rum. I really love rum. I tell you, when I went to the Dominican Republic, that Leyenda rum, some good stuff. And Zacopla rum is good as well. I might be pronouncing it wrong, guys. I'm sorry if I am. It's not at that thick consistency that I want it yet, so you got some more time. All right, guys, we're gonna give this about another 5 to 10 minutes because she is almost ready. You can see how it's reducing the sides. Because then when it gets hard, it's going to be like a candy consistency, a hard candy consistency once you leave it up out of the heat. And that's what you want. That's when you know it's almost ready, when it's ready. Okay, guys, this is ready. Okay, so we're going to turn the heat off. We're going to add in some vanilla extract. Okay, so this is the vanilla extract that I'm using. Okay, pure vanilla. You can use any type of vanilla you want. All right, so you can do about a tablespoon or 2. Okay, and mix that in. And this is the rum we're using. Okay, now we're going to be using about 1/4 cup. We're going to pour this right over our seasoned sweet potatoes. Okay, I'm gonna get some oven mitts. And you see that again? This is what you want. That thickness. Okay, that's what you want. All right, so now I'm gonna pour this. Over here, just like this. See how it's getting that kind of hard candy consistency when it cools? That's what you want. You want to make sure that it's at a boil when you pour it, like I did. You know, if you want to give your kids this candy after it cools, that's what my mom used to do. She would give us this when it cools. We have a little treat before we have dinner. A little treat. Never forget those things. No syrup left behind, y'all. Okay? No syrup left behind. So that's how it should look. Okay? That's how it should look before we put it in the oven. This is how it should look before we put it in the oven. Okay? It should look just like that. So now we preheated our oven and we're gonna go ahead and put our mixture, put our sweet potatoes, well, candy yams in. And our candy yams been preheated to 400 degrees. We're gonna cook this for about 25 minutes. So again, what you're looking for is, let me open my oven right quick. All this right here should be boiling. It should be, you see bubbles, okay, in all of that area. Everything should be bubbling. Okay, that's what you're looking for. All right, guys, we'll see you in about 25 minutes. All right, guys, so like I said, it's bubbling, and that's what we want. And you see that the bubbles are happening in the syrup. And so we're about to take this out. It's got about 4 more minutes left. This is gonna be some good yams, y'all. We'll see you in a little while. All right, guys, so our 25 minutes is done. Our syrup is boiling. Basically, it's bubbling. That's what we want. We're about to take it out now, okay? Okay, You can just hear that, can't you? Just hear that goodness of those candy yams. Just want to let you know, guys, that when we take this out, we're gonna let it sit for about 20 minutes, okay? And the syrup will thicken as it cools. Okay, guys, so our candy yams are done. Just look at it. It's cooled. It's cooled for about 15 minutes. And it looks nice and glossy and tasty, doesn't it? All right, so now we cooked it, and let's plate it. Steam still coming off. Hey, I'm a big guy, so it's double dipping for me. Okay, so let's see how it tastes. These are some good yams, y'all. You ain't had no yams. You had these yams, I'm telling you. These some good yams. I'm telling you, you can taste the cinnamon, the allspice, the nutmeg. None of the seasonings are overpowering. You taste that rum. I'm telling you. Whew. Guys, this is some good yams. Try these yams. Okay. So, one plate down, many more to go. We'll see you next time on Cook, Plate, and Repeat.